It is that time again. The Eurovision Song Contest Grand Final 2022 held in Turin, Italy, May 14th, 2022. We're going to talk about the Grand Final, the scores, who won, and go from there. So stick around because it should be an interesting conversation today. Konnichiwa minaboku wa Jeremy desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And it is grand final day for Eurovision 2022. It's exciting. I was at work today. I may or may not have peeked in once in a while on the results. And but when I came home, I sat down and I watched most of the show. I kind of fast forwarded through a lot of it. I just wanted to see the performances and so on. And Laura Pausini and Mika did some performances. And of course, Maneskin also did some. I think they did a world premiere of their new song, Stripper, I think is what it's called. Maybe not Stripper. I don't know. It's something along those lines. But I would imagine that we'll probably hear that on the radio pretty soon. They sold out their tour in 4 hours, like their world tour, I think is what they were saying. That's pretty interesting. So, all right, grand final day, 25 countries performed. And on the screen right now, as you could see above me, is the running order. Now, we talked about this a bit in the semifinal 2 video once it was announced what the running order was going to be. And there's interesting stuff to talk about here. So let's just start from the beginning. The Czech Republic opened up the show, and as I mentioned before, I think 2016, 2017, 2018, and now 2022, the act that ended the second semifinal, like that was the last act, ended up being the first in the grand final, and that's generally chosen by the artists randomly. They reach into a little bowl and they find out what part of the thing they are performing in. So that's pretty interesting there. Could be totally just random. I don't know. But the Czech Republic closed off semifinal 2 and they opened the grand final today. So one thing about this performance that I really like, the song is called Lights Off. I think the vocals were a little bit not as great and not as strong as the semifinal performance was, but let me just move up here, get comfortable. There's a part where she says turn the lights off or turn the lights down. I think it's turn the lights off, and then like it matches the beat of the song. The lights go boom 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 off, and then they come right back on. So that's a nice little production Easter egg right in there, little thing to throw in there. I like that a lot, and I noticed it. Second to them was Romania with Yamame, another one where the vocals weren't quite as strong as the semifinal performance, I think. But you know, it was a fun song. He was obvious. I think all of the artists were having a really great time this evening, and it really showed. Like they were more relaxed, and maybe that was helped or hindered some of them. I'm not sure. But so good job with Romania. Portugal, pretty much exactly the same as the semifinal, but the song I find myself anyways kind of on the weaker side of my tastes, just my own tastes. The lead singer has a very quietish voice too, which might work with the song, but she's definitely joined by 5 other friends, and that magnifies the song a lot more. They were center once again, and that was great. Now I think part of the rules are you have to do the performances close to the same each time. I think you have to wear the same costumes. I'm pretty sure, and I don't know how much you're allowed to deviate from it. I'm of the type, like myself, when I do performances, and again, I'm not a professional by any means, but like Lady Gaga, for example, she changes every performance up. You never really see the same exact performance of a song, and I like that because I think it keeps it interesting. So I would imagine it's more of the choice of the country delegations. I mean, they're paying for them to be there, like the countries are. So maybe they have to stick as close to what their planner makes them do, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe something like that. But anyway, it was polished, it was solid, and so good performance. Finland, Jezebel, the only rock song we got. That's actually a contestant, really. was pretty well done. And again, I've said before, of the four rock acts, they were kind of my weaker choice. I would have put Ready through before them. I would have put Bulgaria through before Finland. I mean, Bulgaria got crapped on a lot, and I just don't understand why. Because the vocals from Bulgaria were a lot more powerful, a lot more succinct, a lot more better done. I still think that the lead singer of I can't think of the name, but of that sang Jezebel, his voice seems like too muted or too quiet compared to the music, and that happens quite a bit in a lot of performances. And it kind of, for me, it kind of takes it away a little bit. Maybe rock songs are meant to be like that. I don't know, but again, I'm not a huge fan of the rock genre specifically, so take all my comments with a grain of salt. This is just a reaction video, honestly. I mean, who am I, really? I'm a Canadian reacting to Eurovision, but I do try to do my homework and watch the performances at least, and I'm just trying to give my own valid opinion as to how I feel. I do me. So, but a good performance still. Switzerland. Another song that got crapped on a lot, but this is a great song, and it can be a jury favorite. I mean, you could see that. Marius Bear changed it up a little bit with some of his vocal inflections, which I thought was neat. It kept it interesting, and I think it is within the rules to be able to do that. Otherwise, it was still a pretty pared down performance. Just him with a few little scenes here and there, and then there's the heart that appears on his face a couple of times and on the ground. And one thing, I'm just going to deviate for a second from the actual song. I just realized this is going to show how blonde I am, because I actually am dirty blonde, as they call it. But in the postcards, at the end of the postcard, they show it's like a little rainbow type thing, and then the country name. They show the flag colors. Why didn't I notice that before? It's all in the flag colors. So Canada, if we were going to be in it, would be two colors, red and white, of course. Maybe next year we'll see what Ukraine does for it, because, well, spoiler alert, the Ukraine won, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Up next, we had France, and this one, oh, it kills me. I loved the song until I saw the live. Yes. This, I guess, falls under the same kind of premise as Austria's song, Halo. The song is great in the studio, but when they were performing it live, it was horrible. It was the worst performance of the night, and that kills me to say it, because I loved this. I love this song still, and I really had high expectations and high hopes for it, and I really wanted Spain or France to win. Spain got a much better score than France did. France came second last. And even that astounds me a little bit, because I can't believe I'm going to say this. Based on this performance, I would have put France last. I would have moved Germany up a lot more than they got. I would have put Germany above Belgium. We're just going to say that right now. But anyway, so France. Alvin's voice was okay, but he was pitchy. The girls were very pitchy all over the place. They were having fun with it, but I think at the same time, they were nervous. And this was the first time we got to see their full live performance. Well, at least I did. I don't know. I didn't watch like the other little shows, like the jury show and all that stuff, which I'm sure they would have performed for. But because the big five get to automatically go into the grand final, that's kind of my first time being able to see each of theirs, aside from the clips that they show in the semifinals a little bit. And when I saw the clip in semifinal one for France, it did worry me a bit. And then I think it was actually a little worse in the grand final, and my heart goes out to them, because I know what it's like to be on stage performing in front of a lot of people, and I think they could tell a little bit, but I don't know. As long as they had fun doing it, I mean, either way, they're still being propelled to a huge status up here. Like, a lot of people watch this, and yes, there can be embarrassing moments, but is there really such a thing as bad press? I mean, there is, but there's no such thing as bad press in the minds of most people. So I still love the song. Their performance could have been so much better, but that's okay. I will take the L on this one, because I wish they could redo it. But anyway, Moving along, Norway was next, and Norway, I mean, Keith and Jim, the wolves, and the banana people, and the spaceman in the background. A lot of people thought it was Tix, but I don't think it's Tix. I don't know. It could be Ylvis. I mean, they do have the two guys and their brother. Who knows? Who knows who it could be? I don't know. Maybe they've demasked themselves at this point, and I haven't seen it yet. I don't know, but maybe they're still keeping it a secret. But they're putting out like parody songs. They had Turin, like the Jolene song, Tootin, 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 Tootin. And then they did Baby by Justin Bieber, but it was Dragma. Dragma, 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 oh, Dragma, like a drag grandmother. So they're fun. They're quirky. I love quirkiness. Their dance, I still have to learn it. I want to learn it. It's fun. It's like the Moldovan entry last year, Sugar by Natalia Gordienko. And I took me a while to learn that one. It's probably going to take me a while to learn this one, but I'm definitely going to be performing this one when I do some Eurovision stuff locally. I think it's such a fun song to do. Before that wolf eats my grandma, gave that wolf a banana, gave that wolf on your grandma, yum yum. I love it. How can you not like that song? It's so quirky. It's amazing. It's just so much fun. So anyway, from Norway, we move on to Armenia. Snap, very, very good song. Slight inflection, vocal changes compared to the semifinals. She looked like she was a lot more comfortable. There wasn't that same weird issue in the semifinal where the paper thing didn't rip right away like it was supposed to. It worked much better, more flawlessly this time. And I really like the song. It's really cute. It's got a nice flow to it. Welcome back, Armenia, to the Eurovision Song Contest. And I mean, I think they did pretty well too, considering. Italy, we had Brividi by Mahmoud and Blanco. And oh my God, Blanco is like his vocals, operatic kind of, both of them. I felt sometimes that Mahmoud was a little pitchy with his high notes, but wow, like still a stunning performance. The two of them are amazing together. The chemistry that they have as performers together is just outstanding. And Italy really, really outdid themselves. So I could see why they were a front runner. I did find it interesting that they did a break right before Italy, and I almost got the feeling that because it's the host country, they were trying to elevate it a little bit more by, putting a break in between Armenia and then kind of just talking a bit, and then, going into Italy, and just it kind of features it a little bit more. And had they done the same thing after Italy, well, then you'd know. It's like, oh, this is us, and it's well within their rights to do so. They're the host country. It would make sense. But to a certain degree, I think it could be looked at as playing favorites or trying to, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. There's already enough controversy with the winners. Why is it there's always controversy with the winners? Look what happened last year with Italy. I mean, as Damiano said when he was asked to give some advice, and he said, have fun and don't get too close to the table, because last year people thought that he was snorting coke off the table. Anyway, people will look for any reason to complain about the fact that their country didn't win. So again, we'll get to that in a bit. Spain. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the same thing here. Spain, in my opinion, should have won. Chanel is amazing. Chanel is better than Sam from the UK in terms of the actual whole presence of everything. Sam put on an amazing performance. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to say that he didn't. I'm not going to, honestly, he did. Awesome. Like, United Kingdom, outstanding. I'm not a huge fan of the song, but wow, this was a million times better than what we've seen the past couple of years, especially last year. Sorry, James. But Chanel is the whole package. Her lyrics, her vocals, while she was dancing, even like in between and stuff, like she hit everything perfect. The dance moves, she had everybody singing along. She had like the whole stage going. The energy was insane. Like, honestly, she should have won, in my opinion. And I can see why people are pissed that she didn't, because honestly, like, she stole the show. I mean, there was a few bands that stole the show, but she really stole the show. And, some people were like, oh, the song is too pop and blah, 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 blah. But really, like, she still got third place, though. So, hey, that's awesome. Spain absolutely deserved it. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I would have put her up higher. I would have had her win myself. But that's just my own opinion. I've said for a while now that Spain was one of my choices. Spain and France were my like 1 and 2, and they kept flip flopping. I still kind of like the song feeling better than Slo-mo because it's the one that's always stuck in my head, even though I don't know Breton. But at the same time, like Slo-mo is just the dance, everything. It's just an amazing show to watch. Like she owns that 3 minutes on stage. Like it's just amazing, and I can't say that enough. Like she did so well. So well. So Spain be proud, Chanel be proud, everybody be proud. But honestly, like just this was so outstanding. And I personally think Spain should have been higher than the UK. I'm just gonna say it right there. But not that UK shouldn't have been high because they were like they elevated things to a next level as well too. But I'm just saying, whereas Sam was on stage with his guitar, I mean he played electric guitar, which is pretty neat, and he had that neat structure and stuff. He just kind of stood there, did a little bit of walking around, but like Chanel's moving and singing and not that breathy. So like wow, that just big wow factor for me. So that is why I was like drawn to that and why I think that song should have won. All right, Netherlands, Die Diept, or this song is amazing too. I looked up the English lyrics too. You could sing it basically the same with the English and stuff too, and it's a pretty song. And so S10 looked a lot happier this time. Like she was a lot more comfortable on stage, but the caveat to that, I think, when she did it in semifinal, 1 or 2, I think it was 1. When she did it in the semifinal, whichever one it was, I think the nerves helped get that emotion across. And whereas this one wasn't as emotional. So I think a tiny little bit was lost in that. But I mean, she still did a great performance. And the song is haunting. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And it's a little different. And so Netherlands, absolutely amazing. Ukraine, I've said before, it's not my favorite song in particular. They won. A lot of people suspected they were going to win, and there's a lot of controversy over it. And I've been talking about this leading up to things that I didn't think it would get to be this controversial, but it is. Did they win just because of what's going on in the Ukraine right now with the war? So several countries gave a lot of their votes to the Ukraine. A lot of them were shouting it out even through the whole show. And you know, okay, great. Is the song winner worthy? Was their performance good? Their performance was good, yes. I do think it was pared down a little bit compared to what their semifinal one was. But still, it was a solid performance. They had the whole crowd going. People were cheering for them. So there is validity that the song is popular. I can understand that. I can definitely see that. And I will say, yes, you know, Ukraine did good. I don't think it, for me, it wasn't the winner. Spain was the winner. But that doesn't take away from the, and I'm not going to take away from the fact that they won. Like, congratulations, boys. You worked really, really hard. And, you know, this is a big win for your country. But now there's some serious questions, I think, that need to be addressed here. And this is one I've been asking, like, on Twitter, on the Wee Wee Blogs thing, and nobody's really responded yet. But maybe you can below. So, these hypothetical situations. Ukraine has won, which they have. Do they have enough money to be able to host a contest? Because the Eurovision Song Contest is an expensive venture. 2, do they have any venues left standing? I legitimately don't know. I know we've seen pictures of things that are being destroyed. Kiev's under attack. Like, is there some place that they could actually do it? 3, if not, would the same rules of what happens with Australia if Australia were to win, because they can't really host the contest from their country, because then everybody from Europe would have to fly to Australia, and that'd be really expensive as opposed to the Australia delegation just flying to Europe. Would they partner with a big 5 country? In this case, most likely the UK, because of the fact that the UK came second. Is that the thing that's going to happen? Or, this is the big one. This is a big what if, and I'm just saying, if Russia wins the war, because nobody really wins, I'm just saying, but if Russia were to win the war and Ukraine was sucked into being under Russian rule, Russia is currently banned from the Eurovision Song Contest. I don't know for how long, maybe for next year. If it sticks like that and Ukraine is under Russian rule, does that mean by default that they are banned as well? And then does the UK, just by default being the second place winner, get to be the host of the Song Contest anyway, right? So it's a weird thing. Like I could see two possibilities being the most likely, and it's one of those last two that I said. The UK will probably end up hosting it anyway. But who knows? Maybe the UK, no, or sorry, maybe Ukraine will be able to pull it off. I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs right now. The important thing is that they won, and it showed the solidarity that the countries have with the Ukraine in all of this. And I think it shows Vladimir Putin just how united people are. Yes, it's a song contest, but I mean, come on. You've got to take notice of the world's largest singing contest and see that the countries are all backing Ukraine here. So you might want to rethink a few things. Just saying. And I'm saying that as I'm 50% Russian. I wasn't born in Russia. My dad's parents were. I'm 50% Russian because my dad's whole side of the family is basically Russian. So, but I'm just saying. And I by no means am I supporting Russia. Sorry. The Russian people, a lot of them have nothing to do with this. It's Vladimir Putin that does. Oh my God, I'm getting political. I'm just saying. But I think these are legitimate questions to ask. And I'm very curious to see what you guys think will be the outcome here. And I want to see what's going to happen in general. So, okay, Ukraine. So Germany, how did Germany get such a low placing? This baffles me. Nobody got zero. Nobody got a full zero between the televote and the judges, like the juries this time, and that's awesome. I'm so happy about that. But Germany's in the very bottom again. It was second last year and last this year. Malik Harris performed his song beautifully. Yes, it could be considered kind of a blasé, like generic pop song, what you would hear, but his emotion, drawing from his experiences, playing the few instruments, having the nice stage setup. It would have been interesting more, I think, if he played all of the instruments, like a little bit on stage. But obviously, you only have 3 minutes, so it's understandable why he didn't. And, it just set the ambiance for it. But he didn't falter. His vocals were pretty perfect. And it was an interesting, like an entertaining song. He rapped a little bit. I mean, Ukraine rapped a bit. He had singing in there. His voice was great. I think that other songs were weaker. I mean, like I said, I would have put France at the bottom. And again, that kills me to say because I really love the song. But I mean, we're going by performance here. So I don't understand why Germany came last. I really don't. Again, Europe, I don't understand. But then again, you probably don't understand why I like the songs that I like. So that's why I'm trying to give my voice to it and get a conversation going. So anyway, Germany, I think, was robbed. I really do. I think out of all of them, I think even more so than Spain, I think Germany was robbed. I'm just going to say that right now. Spain wasn't robbed. Spain still placed extremely high, which is great, but Germany was flat out robbed. Lithuania, Monica had a great time. It's a very sultry song. It's exactly the same as she did in the semifinal, pretty much. Nothing like super stands out. There's that neat effect where they have like the kaleidoscope style where she's facing herself, like just the way they do the split screen. And that's kind of neat. I think it's cute, but again, it's kind of one of the weaker songs on my personal choice list. But, a good performance, solid performance. So good job. Azerbaijan, his vocals were off a little bit. Not pitchy, just off a little. Now, France fell into the thing of the being off time. They were really off time. I don't know how you can be because the drum beat is so strong. But they were off. The girls were right off on that, and it was painfully obvious. Azerbaijan, what I mean is it seemed like his voice cracked a little bit, even at the beginning. It could have just been a stylistic choice. It could have been that he was going for that emotion, but it just didn't quite translate exactly as he wanted it. It could be exactly how he wanted it. I don't know. Still a strong song. He's one of the strongest vocalists, honestly, and he was the first of the strongest vocalists no, he wasn't. Italy was. But definitely like... Okay, second of the strongest vocalists, I would say. And good for him. Good performance. Still, it was neat seeing the stairs come around, and very similar to how it was done at the semifinal, but solid. Belgium, I would have placed under Germany actually, or put them together at the very least. It's they're not that dissimilar in many ways. I mean, Jeremy I forget his last name, or maybe it's Jeremy. Maybe that's it because I think it's got the French accent aigu. Um, he's a good singer, but I don't see his vocals being any different than Malik's singing. The songs are a little different, but not really. I mean, at least Malik was rapping and singing, so there's that. Um, he played instruments, whereas Jeremy didn't. He had like the backing dancers, which is fine. Like you got a very generic kind of pop song. I'm still surprised Belgium made it in over other songs, to be perfectly honest. But congratulations. You still put on a pretty good performance, and obviously the televoters and the juries liked you. So great, that's awesome. So good for you. Greece again. So Amanda's performance was a lot better for me in this round. I thought in the semifinals she was kind of all over the place a little bit, but again at the same time it seemed like she had more emotion in that. This one, she was happier, and again, like S10, it's great to see her happier, see her more comfortable, but it does take away from the emotion just a tiny little bit. But still, a good solid performance, actually better performance in terms just technically overall. I still really like that effect where they have all the chairs laying on their sides and then they do the viewing down and you can see like all these spiral things and it fills the stage. And so kudos for that one. Iceland, the sisters, solid performance again. They do really, really well. I really enjoyed it, and it was just the same as their semifinal basically. And it's a cute song. It's very laid back. It's laid back and it's got more folk to it, which I think a lot of people might look at Iceland and think of that, the folkiness. But last year we had Dowdy Fryer and his band that I can't pronounce the name of the band. But I think I liked this year's entry better than last year's. But still, it was well done. It was nice and drawn in. I didn't think they'd be a winner, but I'm okay with where they ended up. I think on the board. So, Moldova. Moldova got a pretty high placing. They made it in the top 10, and I'm so happy for that because a lot of people crap on them. And you know what? I love Moldova. Say what you want about them. Say what you want about Kalush Orchestra. Both bands they light up the stage. They get the whole crowd involved. And I think Moldova had more of the crowd involved than the Ukraine did, to be perfectly honest, both in the semifinal and in this. Their song is solid. It's amazing. It's a polka. How can you not like a polka? It's like folk polka, and it's like a polka. And it's fun. They use the whole stage. They're all over the place. It's got that really good drum beat in the middle of it, and they are just awesome. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this performance. I would have put them higher up in the grand total, but Moldova, you kicked ass, and you guys did amazing in my opinion. I loved your performance, and I think the song is going to be stuck in my head for a long time. And so good job, Moldova. It's just like Natalia Gordienko's Sugar. I think you guys did better than that one, actually. And she was like the most memed performance last year. This year's probably going to be Norway. But I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Sweden, Cornelia Jacobs. I mean, she came in 4th place. And a lot of people thought that she was going to win. I mean, I honestly thought that Sweden was going to win. She won the popularity contest with the OGAE, but she came in 4th, still top 5, which is really, really good. Her performance was solid. Again, not that different from the semifinal, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe the others had done something just a little bit to elevate them just a bit higher. I really like the song. It's been stuck in my head for a while. I've done a TikTok for it before I really got good with it. I tend to do that. I like a song and I just learn a little bit of it and I'll just throw it on there, but I might redo it. We'll see. But I really think the song is beautiful. And her raspiness, that rawness to her voice, the sultriness, the pared downness of the performance, but it still worked. That nice light backdrop she has, and the build-ups and the crescendos and the build-downs, and everything worked really, really well. So congratulations, Cornelia. Australia should have placed higher. I don't think the juries gave it a high score, but Sheldon is amazing. The strongest male vocalist. I still say that. I still stand behind it. And emotional. He's so good at conveying emotion. At the very end, like I legit thought he was crying, and then all of a sudden the song ends, and he's happy and thank you, Europe, and then he does start actually crying. So he sells his performance amazingly. Australia was dead on, dead on. And he even threw some differences in there compared to his performances in the semifinal. But I really, really like how the stage changes. It reminded me of Jean's Tears. And I think I've said that before with the stairs and stuff. But the way he climbs them, like it's so perfectly done. And then the mask reveal, the face reveal. Australia, Australia was amazing. Australia keeps putting in very good acts. I think Montaigne was. I don't mean to be rude. I just think that was a little bit of a step down, just because her vocals aren't super strong. But then you bring in this guy and just really strong, and Dammy Im's voice was also super strong with another song I really, really liked. I think it came in second actually in 2016 or 2017 for Australia, which, I mean, they're doing really well. They've been doing pretty good in the contest most of the time, aside from last year. United Kingdom. Okay, I've said before, I'm not a big fan of this song in particular. I mean, it stands out for people, and that's great. People love it. I'm not going to shit on that because, Sam did an amazing performance. He's very well known on TikTok, which can really, really help with the televotes too. You get yourself out there a lot more than just relying on like television or like. I mean, YouTube has been great because Eurovision's been putting it out on YouTube as well too, so it gets people to notice the performers. And Sam definitely has an amazing voice. His vocals are outstanding. Like he can hit all the high notes and stuff too. But the reason, as I mentioned before, that I would put Spain over UK is the performance in general. Like, yes, Sam has great vocals. Yes, he plays his guitar a little bit, but otherwise he's just standing on stage. He's just in almost caged, and they were trying to make like a rocket ship, and I can understand that. That's great. But Chanel was all over the stage. She was dancing and singing, and her vocals didn't suck. They didn't get impacted that badly at all. Like when you're dancing that much, it can affect your vocals. It affects me when I do it. But she was the consummate professional and pulled it right off. And that's why I would have put it just in terms between the two performances. I would have put Spain edged even just a little bit. If by score, I would have just edged her even by 1 point, just put Spain above. But they were both outstanding performances. And the UK, I'm so glad that you guys have beaten the curse and came in second. And I mean, by all things, as far as I can tell, you're probably going to be hosting the Eurovision contest in 2023. I don't know if it's for sure, but we'll see what happens. Poland, River again. I don't know why. I don't know why I still default to this opinion, but it still stands. Great song, great vocalist. Do I think the song and the vocals fit? No. I don't know why. If Sheldon Riley sang this song, I think it would be amazing. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. If Ochman, Christian, I think is his first name, sang one of the other songs, I think he would pull like amazing. Like he's got a great operatic voice, but for me, for some reason, there's a disconnect, and it probably is just me. But he still pulled the song off really, really well. Like it's the effects too, very Manzer Merlot esque with like a lightning and all that stuff. Kind of a little over the top, I think, here and there. Like in some parts, like the camera's shaking or it's making like a shaking visual for us to watch at home. But still, it was a very solid performance. So kudos to them. Serbia, I mean, Beti Zdrava, Beti Zdrava, Beti Zdrava. Biti Strava, like such a fun song. And Constructa, great vocals. Mika even said that he loves her performance, and they're supposed to stay impartial as hosts. But amazing, absolutely amazing. I would expect no less. Serbia came in 5th place. They did awesome, very, 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 very well. It's such a catchy song. It really is. I don't understand the words. I don't know how to speak the words other than Betistrava, and I'm probably mispronouncing that too. But hey, if you can clap and get everybody involved, you want to get your audience involved somehow. I mean, she's got it. That's awesome. And going second last, wow, you're fresh in people's minds for the voting. And then we get to Estonia, and I love the sepia color is back. Stefan, I think I might be wrong, but I think he flubbed a line, but he just went with it, and that's great. That's what you do. Maybe he didn't flub a line. Maybe I'm just missing something. But either way, his performance was solid, and he was having fun. And he jumped off the stage. I mean, if he would have landed in the water, that would have been kind of funny. I mean, he was the last performer anyway. I almost would have just jumped in the water anyway. And they don't realize yet, but that water fountain belongs to me. But he was all over the stage, and it was just him on there. But he was having a good time. And see, that's the thing. When you're the only performer, you should use as much of the stage as you can. I think that's that should be something that they do. And he did a very, very good performance, good solid, good finisher. And I think I could do that song kind of. They can tell us what to do, why. Maybe not right now. Is that the words? They can tell us what to do, why. Maybe not. I don't know. My voice is kind of weird at the moment, but I love it. It's like the only country song too, and it placed really well because a lot of country songs don't place that great in Eurovision, from what I've seen. Like, for those of you that don't know, I do host a Eurovision radio show on CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops, and it's currently Fridays from 10 to 11 p.m. Pacific time. And I've heard a few country songs, but just going through the history and like talking about them and reading about them, they don't always place very high, not that high at all. But Estonia has done pretty well. So let's actually look at the rankings here, and let me just pull up and see what we've got for the final results, the grand final results. And I'm probably going to have to fix this here. Oops. Okay, let's see. So, sorry, I'm just trying to center it a little bit better here. I'm making this video using Streamlabs because I am also on Twitch, and it's just such a nice little thing to have to be able to do this. So we're looking at the results of the grand final and who won. So as I mentioned, Ukraine came in first place, followed by United Kingdom, and then Spain, Sweden, and Serbia. We've got all of the U and S's. It's amazing. Switzerland didn't make it on there into the top 5, but still, like, all of the latter alphabetical names, aside from Switzerland, are on here. I think that's interesting. And Ukraine made it top 5 again, just like they were 5th last year. They're first this year. And I think that's it. The other ones weren't in the top 5 last year, so it's interesting to switch it up a bit. Ukraine, Spain, Serbia, 3 of the 5 are not in English, whereas last year, not one of them. Oh, no, I guess Iceland was in English last year. United Kingdom and Sweden were in English. So a nice little mix there. We have 2 of the big 5 in the top 5. We have 2 of the big 5 towards the bottom. And we have 1 of the big 5. Well, I guess Italy came in 6th, so that's not bad. So Italy, and then Moldova, Greece, Portugal, Norway. I would have put Norway above Greece and Portugal, just myself. I would have, like I said, I would have moved Germany over. I would have put France down a little bit. I would have brought Belgium down, that's for sure. I probably would have raised Armenia, Azerbaijan. No, Australia. Okay, I would have put Lithuania underneath Australia and Azerbaijan for sure. All the rest of them are pretty good. I think I would put Estonia before Poland, just for me. But the rest of them seem pretty good. Although, again, Spain, I would have raised Spain above Ukraine. I would have put Spain, United Kingdom, Sweden, Serbia, Ukraine. So I just changed the top 5 a little bit. That would just be me personally. So where does this leave us? I did leave some questions for you guys about what's going to happen with Ukraine. What do you guys think? Will Ukraine be able to host it? Are there venues that are still standing that they can do it? if Russia takes over Ukraine. If it's a big if, I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying if it was to happen, just worst case scenario, would they be allowed to host it? Because they would technically be part of Russia, which is currently banned. Would they have to partner with one of the big five, possibly United Kingdom, because they came in second? There's so many questions. So many questions. But will we have answers anytime soon? Now, one other thing I wanted to point out. I was just reading this too, and I'm just going to pull out my phone. I know it's kind of terribly rude of me to do so, and I do apologize for this. But this little indiscretion of mine. But I just want to double check something here. There was a statement regarding voting patterns during the 2022 shows. In the analysis of jury voting by the European Broadcasting Union's EBU pan-European voting partner after the second dress rehearsal of the second semi-final of the 2022 Eurovision Song Contest, there's a mouthful, certain irregular voting patterns were identified in the results of 6 countries. In order to comply with the contest's voting instructions, the EBU worked with its voting partner to calculate a substitute aggregated result for each country concerned for both the second semifinal and the grand final, calculated based on the results of other countries with similar voting records. This process was acknowledged by the Independent Voting Monitor, and the EBU takes any suspected attempts to manipulate the voting at the Eurovision Song Contest extremely seriously, and it has the right to remove such votes in accordance with the official voting instructions, irrespective of whether or not such votes are likely to influence the results and or outcome of the voting. ESC Communications, press at Eurovision.tv. So I guess every Eurovision has some kind of controversy to it. I mean, you can't escape it. It happens every year. But you know what? It's come, it's gone. It's been fun. It was an amazing ride to watch. I was so happy to be a part of it again. I felt a little more invested in it this year than last, despite last year being my first Eurovision. But I think each year I'm gaining a little bit more understanding of it. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I am so excited to be part of this, and I love it, and I would love to be a performer and represent Canada one day for it. Whether or not that would happen, I don't know. Even just being a commentator would be amazing. Wee Blogs, if you ever see this, if you're looking for a Canadian ambassador or a Canadian no, I'm not a journalist, but, just somebody that can join you guys and be a Canadian representative for Wee Blogs. I would like to throw my hat into the ring, but I don't know if you'll ever see this. So if you do, it's just jeremyandrossoff@gmail.com. You can find my information below. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What did you feel about Eurovision this year? Did you think it was amazing? Did you think there were weird things about it? Did you hate it? I hope you didn't hate it, because honestly, this contest is all about trying to bring everybody together, trying to unify. And, again, like I said, Ukraine and United Kingdom were not my favorite songs, but I'm glad that they won. These people put in so much work. Every single artist did, and it's just an amazing show to watch. And I love the music, and I know what my favorites are, and I know which ones I'm going to be playing on repeat and performing at karaoke, and trying to get more awareness of the contest to my friends and just people in general. So anyway, I will leave you on another note. The CBC Searchlight Contest, CBC Toyota Searchlight Contest, is a Canadian contest that has been running for the last few years, actually many years now. And it's not quite to the grandiose scale as Eurovision. I mean, it is just in Canada, basically. But artists can submit a song each year, and I don't think it has to be a brand new one like Eurovision does, but I did do a new one, and I usually do. And my song for the contest is called Modest Mansion with a Double-Decker Venetian Carousel. I'm going to link it in the down below in the little info section there with my other information. The contest voting for round 1 starts on Thursday, May the 19th at 3 p.m., 2:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Canada. And I would love it if you guys would listen to my song, and if you enjoy it, if you would help support me by voting for it. You can vote up to 5 times a day for it, and I've never made it past the first round. In the previous times I've entered, I did a song called Ghost, and then Haunted, and last year was Cancel Culture Bandwagon. This year is a country dance pop song called Modest Mansion with a Double-Decker Venetian Carousel, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys would help support me. Even if I could just make it into the round 2, that would make me so happy. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys taking this ride with me here, and I love talking Eurovision with people, and I wish I could get more involvement with people looking at the videos. I don't have a huge viewership, but I think conversation is important, and I'd love to talk with you guys. So thank you very much once again. Until next year with Eurovision 2023, wherever it's held, whether it's Ukraine or United Kingdom or somewhere else, I will see you then. Jamatane Mina. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and have a wonderful year. I will be making more videos, though, on my channel. So maybe not necessarily Eurovision specific, but hopefully we're going back to live performances as well. And so maybe you'll see me there. Thank you very much.